Hello everyone. So today we are going to see about the collection mapping in the Hibernate. So it is about the taking the collection type properties in the entity class like list, set, map properties. So for storing the multiple elements values in the child table, link with the parent table, map by entity class by forming the one-to-one association using the foreign key column. So let's suppose you have a uh, entity employee, so which is having the employee id name, and we have to store the employee friend's name. So we'll use here a list. Then we have to store the employee card names, that is card details, that is let's suppose Aadhaar details, Aadhaar and their Aadhaar number, PAN and PAN number. And also if you want to store the projects of the employee, then we have to use this collection mapping. So for this list, another table, new table will be created. So here you will see that for the list, new table will be created like emp underscore friends. For cards, the new table will be created. So for set, new table will be created. So instead of saving into the one table, so this in the list, map, set, we can store different values. So for that, the new table will be created and it will be referenced to this employee tab through this foreign key, and whatever this employee id and name, rather than this collection, whatever variable we have, that will be stored into this table employee tab, and this employee friends will be referenced from this employee id. You can see that employee id foreign key will be created. For employee projects, foreign key will be created. So collection mapping, so it is about the taking the collection type properties in the entity class like list, set, map and map properties. So storing the multiple elements values in the child table linked with the parent table. So these three are the child table are linked with the parent table by using the foreign key. Link with the parent table and mapped by the entity class by forming one-to-many association using foreign key column. Now for one collection variable, one child table will be created. So as we have seen in the example, how many collection variables we have? 3. So 3 child table, you can see that here, and this emp tab will be parent table. Now that child table will have 2 or 3 columns. So in which case 2 columns and in which case 3 columns. So in the case of list and map, 3 columns will be created, and in the case of set, only 2 columns will be created. So let us see how these columns will be created. So in the list and map, what are the columns will be created? Child table will be created with the 3 columns. First one is the foreign key, that is join column. Next is index or order column, and next is element, that is data column. So let us understand. So first we'll see in the list. So in the list, let's suppose we are storing the employee friend's name John and Carla. So in the case of list, in the child table, 3 columns will be created. First one will be foreign key, that is join column. Next, the friend's name, whatever you will store, and the index of the friend. So let's suppose in the list we stored John and JHON, John and Carla. So what will be the index? The index will be 0 and 1. So for this index, the column will be created, and this name you can give as you want. So 0 at position 0, this will be at position 1. So this way, in the case of list, 3 columns will be created. Now let us see about the map. In the map also, 3 columns will be created, one for foreign key, one for key and one for value. So as in the map we store key value pairs. So let's suppose we have store Aadhaar and value will be 1234. We have store PAN, value will be MKV1. So this is a key, this is a value. So for key one column will be there, for value another column will be there. So this is about the list and map. Now in the case of set, only two columns will be created. First one is the foreign key, next one is the whatever data present in the set that we have to store, right? So in the case of list and map, 3 columns will be created, and for the set 2 columns will be created. Now here what are the annotation we have to use? Let us see about that. So we have to use this @element collection annotation given by JPA, which creates the child table for every correction variable and links the foreign key column with the parent table primary key column. So first annotation we'll use here is element collection, which creates the child table for the list. This we have to use on the top of the collection variable. Next, collection table. So whatever this in the collection table annotation, we have to give the name and join column. Name is nothing but the whatever child table we are creating, that child table name you have to give, and join column name means foreign key column name we have to give. So if I go here, so on the top of these friends, what you have to give? @element collection. So that the table will be created, and we have to give the we have to give the join table name and also join column name, as we have seen here. In this @collection table, we have to give the child table name and join column name. Next, @column. This will be element column name. Then @order column. This will be for storing the index column for the list. And @map key column. This will be for the key of the map. You will understand by the example. We'll see this example. So here I am using Eclipse ID. So what you have to do? You have to go to the files, go to the new, go to the create a Maven project, click on next, go to the catalog, choose internal, in the filter type quick start. Here is the quick start, click on next. Then in the artifact ID you have to provide the project name. So I will give here a collection mapping, and the package name I will give here a com.test, and we have to click on finish. Now in order to use the Hibernate, we have to add the dependencies. So here I have already opened this. So this is a Hibernate core dependency, and we will be using here a MySQL database. So here we have to add the MySQL connector J, and also you have to add the here I am using Lombok. If you want to use that, you can also add this. And also we have to add the Apache Maven compiler plugin. So the link of these links will be provided in the description. So let us go. So collection mapping is created. Now let's go to the pom.xml. In the pom.xml below JUnit, we have to paste the dependencies. So I have already copied the dependencies. So MySQL connector J, Lombok, and Hibernate code. So copy this and paste. Ctrl+Shift+F for formatting. Here we go. Hibernate core dependency, Lombok dependency, and MySQL connector J. And also we have to add the Maven compiler plugin. The link will be provided in the description. You have to copy this Maven compiler source and target. After copying that, what you have to do, go to the properties and paste here, and I will take here a 1.9 version of Java. So 1.9, Ctrl+Shift+O, Ctrl+Shift+F for formatting. Let's save. After saving this, what you have to do, go to the project, right click on that, and we have to go to the Maven, and we have to update this project. Click on OK. Now let's create the packages. So right click on this base package com.test, and next we have to create a package called com.test.util. Also another package we will require is entity, so com.test.entity entity. Let's save this. Now go to the com.test.util, go to the new, go to the class. Here we have to create the Hibernate util class. In the Hibernate util, first we will create a variable called static session factory equals to null. We will create static block, and also we will create two other method, public static session factory get session factory, control shift O for importing session factory. Also we will provide here one method for public static session get session, and we have to return control shift O for importing session var.hibernate.session. in the factory dot open session we have to return, and from here we have to return return factory. Now how to create a factory object? For that we will require configuration, so configuration Cfg equals to new configuration. Now control shift O, we have to import. So here we have to create the hibernate.cfg.xml, that is configuration file. So to give the database information, that is JDBC URL for MySQL, username of MySQL, and password of MySQL, and also the hbm to ddl.ito property, that you can give either through the configuration file, or otherwise we have another way, that is by using this environment class. So if I do control shift T, and if I search here for environment, here you can see in environment, and in this you can see that, so it provides the configuration access to configuration information passed in the properties object. So by using this environment, it provides access to the configuration information passed in the properties object. So we have to create the properties object, and we can give there the configuration details. So here I have already copied these details. So let me go here in the Hibernate util. First of all, we created this configuration, then we have to create the properties, props equals to new properties, control shift O for importing properties. Next what we have to do, we have to props dot put, we have to kept here environment dot url. This is for giving the JDBC URL for MySQL. Here let me take URL. So what is the URL for JDBC MySQL? JDBC URL for MySQL, JDBC colon MySQL colon / localhost colon 3306 / new. So new is a schema name that I have already created in the MySQL workbench. Here we can see new schema name I have already created, and the port number of your MySQL, and this is the JDBC URL for MySQL. Control Alt down, environment. Now you have to give the username of your database. So my database username is root. Control Alt down. Next, here we have to give the password of your database. So password is root also, and other properties, this, let me copy this, go here, control shift T of format, let's save properties, let me take yes, and yes. So show SQL. So if you want to see the whatever the queries executed by the Hibernate on the console, then you have to give here as a true this property show SQL. If you want to see in the formatted manner, then you have to give format SQL as a true. Now HBM to detail.auto, I am taking here update. So if table is already present, Hibernate will alter that. If you want to create a new table, you can give here a create. Update will also create a new table if the table is not present already. Now next thing here, we have to set configuration dot set properties, and we have to pass these properties. Let's save this. Next, cfg dot add annotated class. So we have to create an entity, and that entity class name we have to provide here. So com.test.entity, go to the new, go to the class. Here I will create one entity with the name employee, and here I will create private string integer id, private string name, then private what we have taken list of friends, then private what next map of string comma string, cards, private set of projects we have to store, so projects. Now control shift O, java.util.list, util.map, util.set, control shift O, java.util.set. now we have to take here @entity annotation. Now @data for creating the getter and setter, @all args constructor, @no args constructor, and @table. I will give here a name as emp tab. Now this id I want to take as a primary key, so I will take @id, and I will not take here @generated value. We will provide from our application. If you want to take, you can take that. So for this, on this collection variable, the new child table will be created. For that we have to give here @element collection. So whatever annotation we have seen, let us use that. Now collection table you have to use, so let me go here @collection table. Now what is the child table name created for the name created for the list? I will take here employee underscore friends, and join column equals to @join column name. I will take here as the same employee ID. Here we have to give the comma. Join column. Here what happened? We have to take small. Let's save this. Change to join column. Yes. Next we have to give here @column, and I will give here a name friend name, and @order column I will give here a name as position. So what will happen here? The child table, what happened? So child table will be created with the name emp underscore friends. So name we have given, that will become here. Now this is a join column, so employee ID will be created here, employee ID. Then this column friend name also will be created, friend friend name. and this position order column, this will be for the index. So position. So as we have discussed earlier, 3 columns will be created in the case of list. So first one will be the foreign key, next one will be the this friend name, whatever content present in the list, and third one will be the index of that, the whatever content present in the list. So in order to give the index column name, we have to use here order column, and for printing the content for the column of the content present in the list, we have to give here @column annotation, and we can give the column name here, right? Now same, I will copy this and paste here. So this will be employee emp_cards, and this join column I will take same name. Now @column name, this is for the value, so card number, and @map key column, and this is for the key of the map, so card name. So now let us see, in the case of map also 3 columns will be created. So what will be the name? emp cards, emp_cards. Then join column will be employee ID, then map key column, that is for the key, and this will be for the values, so card number, card name, and here employee ID. This is foreign key, this is for the whatever key is present in the map, that will be going to this column, whatever values will be present in the map, that will be going to this column. Now last one is a set, so let me copy this, paste here. Now here employee projects, PROJECTS, and join column I will take as the same, and now here @column name I will take project names. So as we have discussed, for the set only 2 columns will be created, so the name will be like emp_projects. From here it will come, this foreign key will be go here, and whatever present in the set, that will be go to the proj name. This will be employee ID, right? So this is the way it will be created. Now this is done, so go to the Hibernate util. Now add annotated class, I will give the employee.class. Next, factory object we have to create, so factory, here build session factory, so factory object will also create. From this method we will access factory object, and from this method we will get session object. Now it's time to test this application. So I will go to the com.test, go to the app.java. Now get the session factory object, so copy the session factory equals to Hibernate util.get session factory. Now get the session object, right? So sc session says equals to Hibernate util.get session, Control+Shift+O for importing both these, right? Now here we'll be using try with the resources, so this will be available from the only Java 9 and above version, so that's why we have added Maven compiler plugin for Java 9. So factory and session are there. Now next step what you have to do is create the emp object. So I will create here employee emp equals to new employee. So in the employee, we have to provide a ID, name, list, map, and set. So let me go here. So I will give ID as 101, name as Sam. We have to create a list. Also we have to create a map. Also we have to create a set. Control Shift O for importing EMP. Now first I will create a list of friends. So list of string list equals to arrays as list. I will take Angela and Carla. Control Shift O for importing list. Now create the map. So I will create map of string comma string. Map equals to map dot of. I will create Aadhaar 123 PAN. Name I will take EMK, value will be EMK12. So in this is the key, this is the value, this is the key, this is the value, right? So map is done also. Now create a set, create the set for projects. So set of string set equals to set of, I will store project 1, in that project 1 comma project 2. Let's save this. Now we have to save this employee object in the table. So save. For that we have to begin the transaction. So how to do that? Session dot begin the transaction. Now we have method session dot save. We have to pass employee object. Now commit the transaction. How to commit? Session dot get transaction dot commit. So after running this application, Hibernate will see whether the employee table is present in this new schema. No, you can't see there, right? So there is no employee table according to this entity. Here you can see name. So EMP tab also not there, employee friends also not there, employee cards is not there, employee projects is not there. So first table will be created and after that this data will be inserted. So now let me run this application by pressing Ctrl F11, run as a Java application, click on OK. Let us see what will happen. First it should create the tables. So here we go, tables are created. Now insert operation is done. So let us see. Here you can see first employee cards, create table employee cards, then create table the employee friends. This is for the hash map, that is map. This is for the list, this is for the projects, and this is for the employee table, that is storing employee ID and name. ID is a primary key, right? Then it is inserting values 1, 2, 3, 4, how many insert operation, 5, 6, 7. So let us understand. So this is for insert into employee tab. So name and ID, as we are storing only one name and ID, that is 101 Sam. So 101 Sam will be stored into employee tab. This is first insert operation. Next insert operation will be on the employee cards. So in the cards, that means map, we are storing the two, that is Aadhaar also and PAN also. So in these employee cards, first column will be for foreign key, next one is the card name and card number. This is first and this is second. So 2 rows should be there. Now if I go here, earlier there was no table with the employee. If I refresh here, you can see that 4 tables are created. First I will show you EMP tab. So in the EMP tab, 101 Sam. So as we have firstly seen 101 Sam. Similarly, you can see that EMP name 101 Sam. Next, which table we have seen? emp cards. So 2 rows should be there, as we have stored the Aadhaar and PAN. As we can see that in the emp cards 2 rows are there. So if I go to the database and click on this table icon of the employee cards, here we go, 101, 123 card number and Aadhaar card name, 101 MK12 Aadhaar PAN card PAN number, right? Now we have seen about the cards, employee cards. Next, this is for the employee friends. So employee friends, how many we are storing? 2, Angela and Carla. And as we have seen, there will be 3 columns in the list, for the list in the child table. So employee ID, position and friend name will be stored 2 times. Insert is operation. Now if I go to here and employee friends, I will click on this table icon. You can see that Angela and its position is 0, Carla its position is 1. So as we have seen, John I have taken in the example Angela, so 0 1, and foreign key you can see that 101, right? Now third child table will be what? The projects. So project will have only 2 columns, that is employee ID and project name. So 2 times insert operation is happening here. Here you can see P1 and P2. So if I go to the database and click on projects here, yes, it is taking some time. Yeah, now you can see that 2 are there, P1 and P2. This is foreign key, this is project name. So as we have seen in the example, project name and project. So this is about the collection mapping. So it is about taking the collection type properties in the entity class like list, set and properties. So in our example, the entity class name is employee. In that we taken this list, set and map properties. So storing the multiple element values in the child table linked with the parent table mapped by the entity class by forming one-to-many association using foreign key column. So in the list and map, 3 columns will be created. In the set, 2 columns will be created. And the annotation we use here, at that element collection, at that collection table, at that column, at that order column, at that map key column. So now let us see what we have seen. Let us revise this. So first I created the Maven project, and after that in the pom.xml we have added the Hibernate core, Lombok and Mysql connector and Maven compile plugin, right? So the link will be provided in the description. After that we created the package com.test.entity, com.test.util. After that we go to the Hibernate util. In the Hibernate util we created the session factory object, and we created the method for session factory and session, static method for session and session factory. After that we created the configuration object. Then we created the properties. Then we have set the value for the URL, username, password and show SQL, format SQL, HBM to ddl.io. Then we have used configuration.set properties. Here we didn't use this hibernate.configuration.xml file. Instead of that we use this environment variable. So what is the environment? It provides access to configuration information passed in the properties object. So we have done that. After that we provided here an annotated class employee.class. So what is in the entity? So in the entity we have the employee ID, employee name, then we have a list of employee friends, then we have a list of employee cards, map of cards, then set of projects. Then here we have to provide at that entity, at the data for the getter and setter method. This is for mapping with the table. Then table name, if you want to take emp tab, you can give that. This ID for primary key of primary key column. Then add that element collection. This is for the creating the child table for the list. Then add that collection table. What is the child table name that we can give here, and what is the join column, that is for foreign key column name you can give here. This is a friend name. Whatever friend name you have to store, that column name you have to give here, and add that column for the position of the content present in the list. Then same here for the map, add that element collection, child table will be created. That child table name you want to give, you can give here in the add that collection table name you have to give, and join column name also you can give. Then this is a column for the storing the what values of the map, and map key column you can give here a name for storing the key of the map. Next one is a set of project. So for creating a child table for the set, we have to give @element collection, then collection table. We can give the child table name emp project and join column name, that is foreign key column, and project name you have to store in the project name. This is done. After that we go to the app.java, then we here the objects get the session factory and session object. Here we use the try with the resources. Then we created the object with the list of employee friends, map, that is card number of the employee, then projects of the employee. Then after that we created the object, then we begin the transaction, then we save the employee object, and after that commit the transaction. And in the console you can see that the operation, whatever queries, create, alter and insert operation, and lastly we have seen the tables in the database. So if you like this video, you can hit like button and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this, and I will provide the link of the code in the description. From there you can practice this.